Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, April 15th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. Perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys over here. All right. So as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start market liquidity over here on the daily chart. Going down to the 8-hour time frame. Going down to the 4-hour time frame. Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, April 15th. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It's 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. Looks like people are still making their way in, but I've marked up liquidity over here. So we're nowhere near any level of liquidity. So I'm not even sure if we're gonna hit liquidity today. Closest level down below is gonna be at 38,317. And the closest level above is gonna be at 38,689. So depending on how liquidity is, it's probably going to push up and hit the upper level. But the lower levels down here are pretty far off. So possibly not likely for it to come down here, at least not by today or by today's live session. Probably later, but not by 8 o'clock. So All right, guys, looks like people are starting to finally make their way in. Tu's here so far. Morning, Funmi. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Maria. Morning, Jacob. Morning, everybody. Yeah, Maria said news regarding the Middle East. So we had news over the weekend, as you guys know. Iran sent some missiles over to Israel, basically starting, possibly like World War III. There's so many wars going on behind the scenes. And you guys can see all the volatility that happened here on Sunday because of the war news that we might have a very volatile week this week. So just keep that in mind, guys. With a lot of the war news going on and the oil news and stuff like that, we're probably going to have a lot of volatility this week, which is going to be a good thing for us personally because we do want volatility, and that's going to be beneficial for us. So, hey, Shannon, morning. Happy Monday. All right, guys. So market is going to open up in about 5 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Going over to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. I'm going to mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go on the 4-hour time frame to identify structure. Closest structure is there. Closest lower structure is right there. I'm going to go down to the 1 hour. Some more structure here. All right, looks like we are good to go. So let me go down to the 1 minute. Zoom out a little bit. So this right here is going to be the 4-hour. Support level. And this here's going to be the 1-hour resistance level. As you guys can see, it's pretty far off from current price. So I don't know if this is going to get hit either. But I've got it marked up there for you guys to see. So there goes our clean chart. And we'll see what happens here when market gets closer to market open. Looking over here at the BB3 chart, price has pretty much been going sideways for a bit. So we'll see what happens when the market opens. Trend over here is bullish for the PRB. So you might be looking for a buy here if you guys are looking to take the PRB. And for our main chart over here, we had news this morning at 5:30, which is retail sales. So it was high impact. Bullish news mixed with the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, which is negative. So we had news over here at 5:30. I'm going to mark that up. We have more news over here at 7 o'clock. So 5:30 and 7, that's pretty much it for the day. It's crazy candle right here. And the news at 7 o'clock, of course. And that's pretty much it, guys. So we'll see what happens here when the market opens. And then we'll go from there. All right, looks like we are good to go here, guys. So the market's going to open up shortly in about 2 minutes. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 58% short. This indicates that 58% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. However, it's not very strong, so it's pretty much neutral for the most part right now. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 300 points. Pre-market, which is extremely high. Yeah, it's extremely high. So we'll see what happens here if the market stabilizes when it opens or if it just kind of sits up there. But yeah, other than that, we'll see what happens here when the market opens and we'll take it from there. So, all right, guys, market is about to open in about 20 seconds. When the market opens, we'll take it from there and then we'll look for any possible entries. So we currently have a bullish momentum here. Looks like the MPS was already taken right here. So price pushed up, price retraced, pushed up. So we need to look for the next momentum signal for the NPS. Also, the breakout V3 continuation already happened right here as well. Buy signal following green candle. So we don't really got too much right here. The only thing we can possibly look for would be a CV entry. But here we go with market open. So market is now open. This is the opening candle. Mark that up right there. Got that right there. Market opening price. There. Opening price there. Here's our clean chart. Price there. And here is our liquidity chart. Opening price right there. All right, so with that said, we don't really have much else to look at here. The BB3 doesn't have anything coming up because we already have a buy signal. Looking over here at the PRB, this is probably the only thing that's setting up right now. This first candle over here rejected off the pivot, so it's going to start setting up right here for a PRB entry. Other than that, there's nothing else to take right now. Here's our main chart. There is no CB entries coming up anytime soon. So we'll continue to follow here. PRB is setting up though, so we'll see what happens here in the next 30 minutes, 30 seconds or so. And then we'll go from there. That's pretty much the only thing that's probably setting up here. Should be the PRB. Until the price swings back down. Then we might get a CB entry or something of the sort. All right. So price closed back down. So price already pushed up here. We have bullish momentum. Price pushes back down from where it's currently at and rejects off the pivot. This could be a possible entry for the PRB. Until then, there's not really much to take here. Price is still climbing up a little bit. The ATR is currently at 18 right now, so it's really not that bad. ATR is pretty decent right now. It's where it should be. We're not getting that crazy volatility from last week. So here we go with the price kind of swinging down a little bit. This could be setting up for a PRB entry, like I said. Yeah, so we got the rejection right there off the pivot. I'm not going to be taking this trade myself. I'm only looking for regular scalps, but I will mark it up for you guys if you guys are planning on taking this entry here for the PRB. So this right here is the PRB entry. It's currently running. Again, I'm not in this position, but it's marking it up for you guys here for those of you who are looking to take it. Looking at our main chart, I'm going to start looking for a possible CV entry. So the CV entry will be in that direction as well if we do get some sort of low. Don't have it yet, but we will see what happens. Yeah, Drew said past 2 Mondays, there are like 2 bullish candles and a dump past opening price. Yeah, I've noticed that too over the past couple of weeks. So I'm not in the PRB entry, guys. Like I said, I'm just waiting for one of our scalps here. Looking for momentum pullback scalp, breakout V3 continuation, and then or possibly a CV entry if it does come up here. But again, I'm looking at the red flags, so I'm not taking any entries around any red flags. Looks like the PRB might have not played through today. Yeah, PRB did not play through today, which was kind of expected because I personally would have thought that price is overextended from here, just from like New York, or not New York, London session. So if you look back from London session over here, just from market open, price has been way overextended to the upside. So you can see price dump down right here on Sunday afternoon. Like there's just a huge spike here. And it just kept climbing and climbing and climbing from Sunday up until now. And like I said earlier with the, we took a look at the sentiment here. The sentiment's just way too high, guys. It's super high. You can see over here that there was news as Dow surges 300 points as retail sales and earnings overshadow Iran Israel conflict, and that's kind of what I was expecting too. It's too overextended for a buy. It's due for retracement. So CNBC reported positive news here, and obviously the market did the opposite. So we already kind of knew that was going to play through, and hopefully nobody took the PRB. I mean, I didn't plan on taking it. I don't think many others did either because of the the current market conditions as we speak. So we don't have a CV entry right here. We have a low, but there's no CV entry because this candle here is obviously bigger than the previous, or it might be smaller. I mean, we'll see what happens here in the next couple of moments or so. So it's touching the opening price here. This is going to be considered a red flag, not one that I would personally take. And it looks like this candle here is probably going to be bigger. So either way, it wouldn't fit criteria. Yeah, so nothing here yet. And price is going to start to consolidate here a little bit. So we got this 1 minute resistance level, which is going to be acting as a range. We got the 1 minute resistance right there. And it's pretty much just ranging between this level and the opening price. Yeah, Nick said opening price right there. Let the market pick its direction first. Still undecided. Yeah, I agree, Nick. It's going to wait for that. I mean, price is pretty much just going sideways between this higher high and the opening price down below. So we'll just sit tight and wait for the market to present itself. It's going to break out of this range eventually. It's either going to break above or it's going to break below. As you guys know, it's either going to break below there and continue climbing down, or it's going to break above and continue climbing up. But it's just a matter of time. The ATR is starting to pick up a little more. ATR is currently at 20 right now. So there is some movement here on the chart. It's just not moving directional. So I do see it possibly setting up for a breakout at some point here. But again, there's no entries here that are available at the moment. So there's no MPS because we currently have a buy signal. MPS already came up over here. So you got to wait for another buy signal. We don't have a breakout V3 continuation because we already have a buy signal here as well. So there's not going to be any entry here for a breakout V3. The only thing that we can possibly look for would be a CV entry, consolidating or consolidation variation, which is not going to happen either because we currently have a low here. We don't have a high. So we need to get a high then a low. So there's just nothing here right now. Yeah, Drew said surprised there was an opposite momentum. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I thought this would have been possibly a momentum signal or I mean, even this one over here. One of these. It's still pending here. It keeps pending, but it has trouble getting past the opening price right here, as you guys can see. It rejects directly off the opening price. It's tested it about 4 times so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tests, but still has not been able to break past it. So it comes down, rejects directly off it, shoots right back up. Pretty normal for Monday. As you guys know, we use Monday as a feeler day. So we're trying to see how the market's going to move for the rest of the week. Right now, it looks like it's pretty sideways for the most part. So see if it starts to pick up. It should pick up. It's still kind of early. It's 6:30 right now, 6:40. I mean, 6:39, close to 6:40. Closer to like 7 o'clock, it should pick up and break out of this range. I'm not expecting this range to hold for very long. So I'm expecting it to break out within the next 20 minutes or so. Because, and the reason I know that is because the ATR is picking up. It's not like the market's flat. Like it's consolidating here and it's ranging, but the market is definitely not flat because the ATR is still pretty high. It's currently at 21 and it's picking up. So it's at 18, went up to 19, 20, 21. And at this point, it's going to prepare for a breakout at some point. We don't know exactly where, but you can see right here from my markups, this is pretty much where price is ranging and consolidating from. It's just squeezing here, as you guys can see. So the candles are bigger over here, and it's starting to squeeze. So once it's done squeezing, it's going to break out. So as you can see right here, price is squeezing, breakout, or in the other direction. It can really go in either direction. And you can see the volatility there. Price is starting to push up. We'll see if it actually breaks past the 1 minute resistance right there. Which is fine. I mean, this is what we wanted. ATR is currently at 22, so it's still picking up a bit higher. There we go. As price pushes up higher from this point. Yeah, exactly. Maria said it's waiting for news at 7 o'clock. So the news over here at 7 o'clock is low to medium impact. It's NHB Housing Market Index. It's forecasted to be neutral. Business inventories, it's forecasted to be positive. So we'll see as we get closer to that. The good thing here is that there is volatility. So price is moving. It's just not directional. So, I mean, we could possibly still get set up here for a CV entry within the range, which is fine because the strategy is meant for a range anyways. It's meant for consolidation. It's meant for ranging markets. So what I'd like to see here is price to maybe come back down closer to opening price and then provide a CV entry, which we can take right back up to the upper range. Something like that. You have a high right there. So this could start setting up for a CV entry as price comes down a little lower. It's not there yet, but we'll see what happens in the next couple minutes or so. All right. ATR is pretty much sitting around 22. Kind of just sitting around that area now. Price is coming back down for the retracement. And it's still within the range. So nothing here has really changed. Price is still within this range. And it's coming back down to opening price. So it's ranging back and forth. Yeah, say you say we got a double top right here. That is correct. Off that 1 minute structure. See, if we get a V1 variation on both of those, that'd be nice. So you get a V1 on both sides, then it's going to be pretty solid because it's going to look like you know, a clean reversal. I mean, it was a clean reversal here within the range, but it would have been even nicer if it was, you know, say we had a double top, double wick on both ends. So that'd be a clean double top reversal. All right, so we got nothing else here. The range is kind of it's too tight here. So the range is a bit tight. I don't know if we'll be able to get a CV entry in between here because these candles are kind of big. So I was hoping these candles would be a little bit smaller and then we'd have this big one that would reject off this point and then push back up. But, you know, like I said earlier, it's not exactly the best market conditions here. Yeah, next set of BB3 continuation if it pushes up. If a BB3 comes up right here, guys, I personally would not take it because price is consolidating. The BB3 strategy is meant for a directional market. So unless it breaks out of this range here, so unless the BB3 comes up, you know, past this area, then possibly I would take it. But if it comes up within this area, I'd be very careful about taking it because it can easily swing back down. I mean, it kind of just depends on how big it is because if you only have a little bit of space, you know, to catch that 10 points, like for example, it's up here and you got like this much space to catch 10 points, you know, I consider it kind of risky. But again, it's up to you. It's up to your preference, how you guys want to take it. Just for me personally, for the two other strategies, the momentum pullback scalp and the breakout V3 continuation, that's where I'd be a little more careful, depending on how much space there is there too. Yeah, exactly. Kenny said strong rejection off the top zone. Nick said, yeah, I'd have to break that higher high. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be a nice entry if it played through, but I think it's just kind of risky because it's within this consolidation. The last thing I'll just get faked out. That seems like what's happening here. So I think what might happen here is another fake out as well. So you guys can see how price is coming down a little bit. This will probably fake out around here, closer to the sessions maybe, and then swing back up, back into the range. So what I would expect here, or what I would anticipate if you guys are looking at this here, look for the fake out. So look for price to fake out here and look for it to pull back into the range, right? Fake out and then back into the range. That's kind of what I see here. Price will probably drop lower because there's a sessions down there. So there's a sessions down below here. It's green line. Price might even come down to this point and swing back up, which could also set up for a CV entry. The only problem here is that it's going to be right at opening price. All right, so if we get a CV entry over here, the problem here is that even if we do get one, it's going to kind of end up at opening price. So, but that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for the fake out, which I think will happen. It's just, it's going to be a tough spot right here because this opening price is going to be a red flag. Yeah, Nick said been pushing up since yesterday, 3 candles in. So most likely going to give us some sloppy movement for a bit. Pushed down hard immediately upon open yesterday, then climbed up since. Yeah, pretty much. So look out for the fake out down here. I think price will probably keep dropping a little bit. It's kind of drop down to the sessions right there, the New York high. So the candle's getting a little bit bigger. You can see right there, price drops a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it rejects directly off it or if it comes right back up. So just look for the fake outs. It's a new lower low right there, possibly another fake out down below it. Or if not, this could be the break below and continuation. So we'll see what happens in the next few moments here. But there you go with price below it. So this right here would be a CV entry. Unfortunately, it's right at the session, so it's not one that I personally take. But this could be the fake out CV entry that I just mentioned. Right. So I said, look out for the fake out. I was hoping it happened before the sessions here, but it happened, right at it. So unfortunately, this is an area of manipulation. But this right here would have been the CV entry that I was looking for. Red candle below. This is actually a really good CV entry because it's a double body, and this candle here is a lot smaller. But because it's at the sessions right here, I wouldn't take it because this is a obvious area of manipulation. So too risky, doesn't meet my criteria. I'm not going to take it. But I'm pretty sure it'll probably push up at least 10 points to hit its target. And it looks like it probably hit. Yep. So full TP right there on the CV entry. Unfortunately, it was right at the session, so not one that I'd personally take. But you can see right there, it pushed up at least 10 points to hit its full TP. So if you guys are one of those risky trade takers, I know there's some of you guys in here. Nice work on the full TP, but I wouldn't have taken it. Nice. So Drew said, got my profit for the day. Gonna head to Disneyland. All right, have fun, Drew. I'll be there on Friday. If you're gonna be at Disneyland on Friday, I'll be there on Friday. Nice. Yeah. So we took the initial push and it's good to go. All right, solid. So now we will continue to wait to see what happens here if price decides to climb down lower. So price is now down below this point. I'm going to mark up structure down here. So here is the support level. Not a strong support level, but support level nonetheless. And there we go. We now have an actual range here. So earlier we had this little consolidation zone. Now we have the full range. So this is the range for today so far within this area. Yeah, exactly. Andrea said better safe than sorry. Congrats, Drew, though. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a risky entry, but the setup was just perfect. It lined up exactly how I wanted to line up. This would be the ideal CV entry. If you have price kind of retrace down super hard in the fake out area, you have a lower low, and then it's also so there's three components to this that made it super like a high quality CV entry. So first of all, the low was a lower low. So this established a bottom, some floor. It was a double body rejection. It was an offset. It was like perfect double body rejection here. This candle here was a huge red candle. This right here was a nice smaller candle. And you can see how price pushed up to fill that manipulated candle, right? So we just met all criteria there for a perfect CV entry. You typically want like a big candle, like not a huge candle, but big enough so that price will kind of retrace back up and fill that little gap there that pushed down from that huge candle. So the candles here are starting to look a little crazy. You guys can see huge wicks, volatility is picking up to 24. There's not really much of a direction here yet. Price is still sitting at this session down below for the New York high. So there's yeah, you want to be careful here. This is just not the best area to trade in. Of course, there's just a lot of things here that are going to be in the way. So it's going to be hard to take some trades down here because we have the sessions and we have the opening price. It's going to be okay to take trades up here. A little difficult, but I think it's still going to be okay because so this is what might happen. In my opinion, I think this is what will happen if price pushes up higher. It'll probably climb up. And if we can get a trade within here, it'll be pretty solid. Because if price gets past this point, this could be a fake out. And then price can come back down. But at that point here, we'll already have our trade within this middle area. So I'm just looking to catch the trade within this middle area right here. This is my main goal for right now, at least. I want to trade within this open area before price fakes out up here, which I think a fake out will happen. I'll probably pull back into the range. But before we do that, I need price to actually push up here, right? But yeah, you guys can see these candles over here. They're moving pretty crazy. Like they're just going sideways, and there's huge wicks for every single candle for the past 5 minutes. We also have news right here at 7 o'clock, so I don't think we're probably not going to get anything until then. So we'll probably have to wait a little bit before we get something here. However, if a breakout V3 comes up here, that's going to be the entry for the BV3. And it'll happen around news right here, which is medium to low impact. So let's see, any breaking news here from CNBC. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, so Tesla's laying off a bunch of people. There's a bunch of layups going on, guys. So, we're not out of this recession yet. A lot of people think that the market's getting better. It's really not, because every week we see a bunch of big companies, laying off people. So the economy is definitely not where it should be, and we'll just have to play it as is. So we got this buy signal here that's currently pending. We might have a setup for a momentum pullback scalp if price pushes up high enough. So that's going to be something for us to look out for here. Also, the breakout V3 could be setting up as well. So the breakout V3 could be setting up here. Obviously, we want price to be away from the opening price here, so a little bit higher if possible. So we have a possible breakout V3. Possible, never mind, it's touching opening price. So there's no breakout V3 there. There could be a regular breakout V3 like the original one. So the actual breakout could be setting up here too. If this candle here closes green, this could be the breakout V3 for anybody who's looking to take it. I'm not going to take it because it's at a red flag, of course. It just doesn't meet my criteria. I'm very strict about the red flags. Obviously, you can see why. Manipulation happens around these red flags. So manipulation down here, manipulation right here at opening price, manipulation right here. It's just not a good look for a setup, because you don't really want to take trades at chance, especially if you're trading at a negative risk reward. If we're taking these regular scalps here, you don't want to be trading like that because you're like one trade away from blowing your account, or not really blowing your account, but being in a deep hole, of course, because you already know what happens if you get caught. So I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you guys, and I talked about this with like some people that like in public that trade as well. I've met a lot of futures traders here that are local to me. They always get caught up in these manipulation moves. So they get caught up in these manipulation moves, and what happens when you take a loss there? They tend to revenge trade, right? You start to lose all control, and that's how you blow your account. So, I mean, my advice to them was, once you have a loss, just call it a day, because the odds of you revenge trading, if you continue trading after you take a loss for the day, is very likely. It's crazy. I met a lot of local people here, local people who actually trade Apex too. And that's the problem. It's like, it's revenge trading, over trading. And then they trade like a pretty big RR. So they trade a pretty decent RR, like a 3-to-1 or something like that. And that's how they get screwed. Even though they're taking low risk, they're just revenge trading their way to a blown account. Yeah, exactly. Andrea said it's not worth the risk. I agree 100%. It's better to just let it go and then wait for the next one. So there was no entry here for the breakout V3. This candle did not close green. I'm going to take this off the chart. And again, we'll just continue to wait here. So unfortunately, it looks like we might be in for another ranging consolidating market for this week, which is really unusual for me for this time of the year. If you guys have traded with me in past years, April is usually not that bad. It starts to slow down around June, but April, May is usually pretty decent with regards to direction and volatility. The problem with this year is that there's so many things going on behind the scenes, right? So last year we didn't have all these wars going on. We had the Ukraine war that started to like kick off, but it wasn't really like people didn't really pay attention to it. Right now we have the war in the Middle East, like multiple wars in the Middle East, and obviously it's taken an effect on the market because people aren't really trading right now as they typically are. I think a lot of people are kind of worried and waiting for something to happen before they get in, and sucks because we need the volatility. For us being scalpers and day traders, we need the volatility here. We don't necessarily need it, but we thrive in volatile markets. So I think the biggest thing we'll probably be looking for here, maybe it might be these CV entries that might come up, because other than that, it's gonna be really tricky to get any big strides, because there's no strides in the market, as you guys can tell. Like, market's barely moving. If you were to trade in this upper range, it's moving like 30 points. This lower range right here, again, 30 points, barely anything. So it's really hard to catch directional moves. You can't really catch directional moves up because there's no push up. You can't catch directional moves to the downside because there's no push down. You kind of have to trade within the range here. But good news for you guys is that so what I didn't really decide this, but I kind of played around with the market yesterday. And so for this momentum indicator, like I said before, like a lot of people ask me, what is this momentum indicator? It's a bunch of different parameters that I put in. So what I started to do is I started to break it apart into different confluences. So I'm working on this other indicator that will kind of help a little bit. with regard to trading within these small consolidating ranges and stuff, which I'll probably meet with like a think tank at some point. I know you guys are here. So I basically broke apart this momentum indicator so that you can catch trades within momentum. So like we could have a momentum signal here, and we can have a trade that happens within this little gap right here between this sell signal and this buy signal. And then same with this buy signal, you can find trades within there. And then again, right here, same thing. You can basically find micro trades within the momentum, because you can see like in between each momentum, there's going to be opportunities to take buys here. Like there's a bunch of buys here that you could have taken, right? And then with the sell here, you could have taken a bunch of trades within here. And then with this buy signal, you probably could have taken one trade right here. And then same with this right here. They're like micro trades, and you're going for like little 10 points. So it's just like quick little profits. I've kind of tested it. I was like up late last night because I was testing it to see if there was something I wanted to introduce to you guys. And it's pretty good. You know, I found like 3, 4 entries that would come up every single day between 6:30 and 8. And it's going to help because the market's going so sideways where we can catch these little micro scalps within the movement. So yeah, that's something that I'm kind of, I'm always looking for ways to make money in the market, guys. So don't worry. If like one of the strategies are like not very consistent, then I'm always going to find something different because I'm able to adapt to the market super quickly. Let's see. Akil's asking, when are you going to start using it live? Maybe soon. I mean, we'll see. Possibly soon. The same factors still kind of like, let me see if I could actually add it to my chart here. Call it a divergence indicator. Momentum divergence. I gotta change the settings here. We'll just play around with it because it's not something that's really set in place yet. But I just wanted to see if it's actually. So there's no entries here, so don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. But let me see. So like, for example, with this buy signal over here, see how we had a buy signal, and you can see how we had the divergence going up, and then it swung back down. And see how it swung back up down here with this candle? So with this candle right here, you could have taken that for a buy because you're just getting a continuation of the momentum. Same with like the sell signal over here. Like for the sell signal over here, what I'd be looking for is I'd be looking for price to kind of swing below. So I'd look for this to swing bullish again and then come back down. And then when that happens, you're just catching like the continuation of the momentum. So this is obviously just this is a piece of the momentum indicator. And you can kind of see again right here. So we had a buy signal, and you guys can kind of see down here where it's the bullish is above, it swings below, and then it swings back up right here, right? So at this green candle right here, this is where you would take another buy. And you can see right there another full TP. So you're just kind of scalping within the scalp. I mean, you're scalping within the momentum. So if you guys remember when I first introduced the momentum indicator, we would take trades based off just momentum. So using this here is just like another confluence. They're just scalps within the scalps. So you're basically using the momentum here to identify which direction to trade. And you don't really need the trend either because you're just looking for the swings here in divergence. You're looking for them to diverge. So you're looking for it to like basically swing up, swing down, swing up. You're just looking for the correction. That's like literally what you're looking for. So if I zoom in like super close, you can see over here, you're just looking for it to retrace up and then correct back down. Exactly. Andreas said inception scalps. Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of what it is. So I'm going to keep working on this indicator here. There's specific settings that I need to set into. That's why I just changed the settings myself manually. Because the default settings don't work. I mean, they work, but they don't work. They're not as clear as it should be. Yeah, next up, you might get an NPS if the trend shifts. Yeah, that is correct. Let me see how far prices push down from this point. All right, it's not too overextended yet, so we're still pretty decent. We're just looking for the trend here to shift over. So I'll see if I can find an example of that. And this is just going to be another strategy that's going to be added to what we're already doing. So like basically how I introduced the CB entry to you, this is just another one that kind of adds in. Because all the tools that I use for this momentum indicator, they're all strong tools. It's just that this momentum indicator kind of like, now that there's so much criteria to it, it either gives you like something that's not useful or something it ends up at a red flag where you wish there was like another opportunity to get into. Like for example, over here with this buy signal, this would have been nice, but it was at the session. So you probably would want to wait and you just wait for the correction. So price pushes up, pushes down, comes back up, and then you make your entry right here instead. And it works good in a sideways market. So we will continue to look for any opportunities here. All right, so price is starting to swing up a little bit. So again, like I said earlier, we're basically waiting for this to retrace, right? We have that divergence coming down right here. We're looking for it to diverge up for retracement. And you can see right there, it's pretty much diverging a little bit right here. So we would want it to close green. We want this candle to close green so it can kind of diverge up a little bit. And then when it comes back down, that's going to be the confirmation. But you can see here, if it doesn't close green, it's probably not going to diverge back up for retracement. No, not looking like it. So there's another opportunity here. With that said, there's another trend here that could be shifting as well. Like when I first created the momentum indicator, you guys would be like, there are so many things. So like there were so many tools down here. I think I had 6 indicators that were down here, like 6 different indicators. Once they all lined up, that would be a momentum signal. There's like 6 or 8 indicators that are down there. So I basically combined 8 indicators to make this momentum signal with like specific settings. And then now I'm just breaking them up into little pieces. Yeah, Nick said I've gone back and watched those lives before. It's crazy. Yeah. Marina said the high-low hit. So there's a high-low scalp that came up right here, guys. This candle broke and closed below this lower low. So this right here was a high-low scalp. If anybody took that trade there, nice work, Maria, on identifying that. Right there for a full TP. We do have a momentum pullback scalp that's setting up over here, guys. I think at this point, price is definitely overextended, so I probably wouldn't take it. This is kind of what's been like screwing us over past couple of days with the MPS entries. Yeah, Danielson looks like it's pushing back to the 530 news price, which it did, and it's blasting right through it. Something's obviously happening here. There's some sort of catalyst that's dumping price, but it's dumping it super heavy, which is tricky. All right, so you do have the bearish momentum here. And Rashida said the Fed's speaking at 10. Got it, thanks. Yeah, we have Fed Daily speaking later today. Or 10 o'clock. I think this is like in 10 hours. It's at 17 for me. I'm not sure if there's another Fed member speaking. Let me check Forex Factory. Yeah, that's the only one that I have for today. I have Fed Daily speaking, but they're speaking at 5 p.m. My time, which is in about, I think, 10 hours. Oh, gotcha. Let me just go over here real quick. Forex or Williams. Okay. So I had Williams over here speaking at 5:30 a.m. Rashida. I don't see anybody here at 10 o'clock. So I had William speaking over here at 5:30 a.m. And then I got Daily speaking at 5 p.m., but I don't see anything in between. Might just be your time zone on your Forex Factory chart. That happens to me sometimes if it changes. Yeah, it's all good. It's kind of a weird time for them to be speaking at 7 o'clock when they just spoke at 7, but it's all good. All right, so we currently have a possible momentum pullback scalp that's setting up over here, but it's currently it's in between these red flags, of course. So a bunch of red flags over here, and then and there's not really much to work with here. Yeah, Andreas said first day of IMF meetings. Oh, wait, let me check the news from 7 o'clock. I didn't even check it. Let me refresh this here. So looking at the news at 7 o'clock, there was only one news event that came out, which was the business inventories. It was negative. It was worse than expected. So the inventories are higher than expected. They were forecasting to be 0.3 and they were higher. So it means that stuff wasn't selling. We got liquidity down below over here. Price isn't there yet, but it's making its way towards it. So that's gonna be the closest level down there. Um, yeah, there's not really much here to work with. Nothing for us to see. So I'll still look for an example here for that divergence entry that I was talking about. But let's see, there's not really much else here. There's a possible momentum pullback scalp. So if you guys are looking to take the momentum pullback scalp, I'll try to mark it up for you guys when it comes up. The only problem here is that price is like extremely overextended. So I'm not going to take it myself if and when it comes up. Yeah, this thing has dropped 200 points. It's a lot of points. So we have an MPS that is setting up right here. So if anybody's looking to take it, it'll probably happen right here at the 90 mark. I mean, you'll have to wait for this candle to close, but it looks like it will probably happen right here at the 90 mark if you guys are looking to take it, or if not, maybe here at the 80 mark. But it's just, it's way too overextended. Nick said might be overextended for a CV. So I wouldn't take a CV here for a buy because the trend here is bearish, Nick. I'd only take it for a sell. So if it gave me a CV from the top side, I would maybe take it, but probably not for, well, obviously not for a sell here. I mean, not for a buy because it's opposite of the trend. So we have an MPS here that's setting up. It's currently at the 10. But if you're referring to a sell, it's going to create a new low, a new high at that point next. So it won't be measured from this point. It's going to be a brand new high. So it wouldn't be overextended at that point because you're measuring it from the closest high. So if you get a new high here, it's going to be from that high, not from this high up here. So it's not going to be overextended because it'll be a new high at this point. That's like where you base it off of. You're basically, so like with these CV entries, you're basing it off a high, low, high, right? So the CV entry would happen right here, and there'd be a new high at that point. So that's the whole point. You're looking for the high because you're looking for the continuation. You're looking for this pattern, right? You're not looking for something where it's like that, because that's not going to happen. You're looking for the higher to get established. All right, so there's a MPS entry right here, but like I said earlier, guys, it's overextended. Unless there was a new high that was in between here, then it would be an MPS, or it'd be a more likely MPS. But it looks like the MPS here is still hit. So I don't know if anybody decided to take it, but it happened right here at the 12 mark, or sorry, the 10 mark. And it went straight down. So there was an MPS right there, as you guys can see. And looking over here at the divergence indicator that I just mentioned to you guys, if this ends up swinging back below again, then this could be a possible entry for a sell for that specific strategy that I was kind of introducing to you guys. But yeah, I wouldn't really hold down at this point. But I'd be careful with any sells at this point because price is obviously still overextended. Until there's a new high that's been established, then at this point, I think everything would be considered overextended and it should be due for some retracement. All right, so we don't really have anything here just yet. I just want to show you guys of that divergence thing that I was kind of working on. But it looks like here the volatility again is going to slow down a bit. I mean, this is pretty much what's been happening for the past couple of weeks. You guys have seen this before. It's pretty much a big move, consolidation. The difference with today is that there's a consolidation and then a big move, and then back into consolidation. So a little bit of the opposite here, where the consolidation happens first and big move happens in between. All right, so we got some team profits here. This is Drew's profits before he left for the day. Drew actually made a lot of profit today. He took, it looks like 1 or 2 trades here, blocking about 3,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Drew locked in about 3,000 per account. He has 12 accounts right now. So 3,000 times 12, 36,000 for the day. Nice work, Drew. Solid work right there. No. This here, I can't tell if this is on the same level or not. If this is on the same level, it's kind of hard to tell here because it looks offset. But this here might be the breakout V3 entry. For anyone who's looking to take it, it's kind of hard to tell here if they're like on the same level because it's such a small candle. This lower low doesn't have a wick on the bottom. So technically it looks like it could line up as a what we consider a double bottom, because that bottom of the body would be considered the wick. All right, so there's still no entries here for us right now. We now have the bullish momentum. So if price decides to swing back up, we'll see if it continues pushing. If not, we'll see if it swings back down. But we'll have to see where this goes. All right, so for the other strategy that I was referring to over here again, guys, we currently have a bullish momentum now. So we have a bullish divergence. We're looking for it to swing back down for retracement and continue back up. And that's going to be a possible entry for this specific strategy here. It's going to be kind of hard for us to incorporate this right now because the problem with this divergence strategy is that it doesn't incorporate trend. I mean, you can incorporate trend, but it's not really necessary. For my testing, I saw that it works very well regardless of the fact. Like you could really trade, you're just going to trade based off momentum because it's a micro scalp within, momentum. But yeah, I just want to show you guys an example when it comes up. Otherwise, we're still looking for actual entries here. So we're looking for sells here because the trend here is bearish. And we just don't have anything here at the moment. So price is just going sideways right here around the sessions. Let me go here to our clean chart. I'm going to mark a new structure down here. So we got this right here. And this is becoming another support level right here. So the BB3 here is still running. For anybody who's like deciding to take it, obviously I wouldn't take it there. It's like in between all these red flags. Yeah, Jeff said he TP for the BB3, but didn't take it as it got red flag for me. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take it here because it's against the trend as well. It's also against the trend for the regular BB3, or not the regular, for the continuation. And this market sucks. I was hoping the market every week we think about how the market's going to be better the next week, and it doesn't get any better. It just stays the same. I think, and this is kind of why we have to look for because a lot of the strategy, well, basically all the strategies that we have are all directional strategies for the most part. There's only like a couple strategies that are actually meant for consolidation, like the consolidation variations. The snipe strategy is actually a good one too for a sideways market, but for the most part, um, yeah, I think I just need to incorporate a lot more of these sideways strategies because that's kind of where the market's going right now, which is unfortunate, but that's kind of where it's going. Then we're going into summer, so it's going to be even worse, right? So going into summer, it's going to be even, it's just going to be a more sideways market, like even worse than it is now. So that's why I'm kind of incorporating these other strategies. This strategy is actually one that I used to use back then. It's not a brand new strategy. It's just that I'm trying to figure out a way to teach it to you guys that's as simple as possible because the it's just a lot of it's complicated when you do it the way that I originally would do it because you'd have to have like a lot of multiple indicators on the chart. But now that we have the momentum here, we don't need all those. So guys, another interesting fact about the BB3. So if you guys have been sitting in on the mentoring or not the mentoring sessions, but the sessions that we had past well the past couple of weeks, I mentioned that I found something about the BB3. If the trade hasn't lost twice, you would just take the opposite trade, and it actually it actually does work that way. So for example, here the BB3 here didn't play through, and I'm going to add this to the spreadsheet. It did that again. So, I talked to a couple of people about that strategy, and you can see that it's currently on a losing streak right now if you were applying the BB3. But if you would just switch to doing the opposite trades, you'd actually be on a win streak right now. So I put this in the notes over here. Decided to take opposite entries if back-to-back losses of two. So for example, over here, there's two losses on the 21st. So you would have taken opposite trades from here until today, and it'd be at like a 9-win streak right now for the BV3. So I think the edge for the BV3 is it's slightly inverted where and I'll keep testing it. I'll keep putting I'll keep documenting the trades so that we have it here. But what I've noticed with the BB3, and the thing is we didn't have enough data on it before, so we couldn't really come up with this hypothesis of like how you can make changes or how you can change your edge with the BB3. But for the BB3, I've noticed that if you have two back-to-back losses, you just start taking the opposite trades. And then once you have two back-to-back losses on that, you just start taking them in the correct direction again. And they've been pretty spot on. So if we were to do it that way, it it you'd be like in a streak in both directions. Let's see. AA said entry missed at 21. So I wouldn't have taken this one here. When I factor in the red flags, I factor in both of the candles for the momentum pullback scalp. I'm sorry, for the breakout B3 continuation. So this is what I mentioned the other day. I said if any of the entry candles, because you're using these two candles to identify entry, right? So there's still a possibility of manipulation from these points. So when I'm looking at the breakout B3 continuations, I'm looking at both of the candles, not just this one, but I'm looking at both of these. If either of them are touching the red flag, I wouldn't take it. So this is something that I mentioned last week too. The red flags are really key. You can see here our price is kind of stuck right here at the sessions. And this here just meets the same criteria that I was mentioning before, that you got to be really careful with these red flags. Red flags are something to really take into consideration and not take any trades around those points. But there's a session right here, this purple line, which is the Asia high. Like you generally just want to trade away from the sessions altogether. Like you don't want to be near it at all. Like I'm okay with taking it if it's down here, but if it's anywhere where it's touching the sessions or getting close to touching it, I wouldn't even bother because you can see over here our price kind of faked out a bit, right? Price came down, came back to touch the sessions again, and then I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back down further from here. So let's see. See how far it's retraced up from here. All right, no other entries right here. We have some more profits over here from Andreas. Andreas locked in a total profit of 1,400. Nice work, Andreas. And we have Maddie over here with a total profit of 1,120. Nice work, Maddie. So solid profit so far from you guys. I'm still waiting for a possible opportunity here. It hasn't come up yet. It's currently 7:25. But yeah, I try to stay away from the sessions. I'm kind of okay with like opening price and news price because I feel like those are less manipulated. But the sessions for sure, like I created a whole indicator just for the sessions because that's typically where the manipulation tends to happen. Um, so I'm gonna look for a possible MPS entry here. If it ever swings back up. We don't have it yet, but so I'm looking for an MPS or even a CV entry if possible. Probably need to drop down a little more. MPS will probably happen right here at the 40 at the 400 mark. Yeah, we need to drop down a little more. It's just a little too it's a little too close. This market sucks. It's there's just not really much direction here, so it's kind of hard to trade. I mean, it looks like there's direction going on here, but if I was to mark up like structure at certain price points, like it's lower high, it just keeps going back into a range, so it's like not it's not ideal. All right, so we might have an entry right here if this candle closes green at the 400 mark for the MPS, possibly. And we got like 30 seconds left on it. Or maybe not. It's not looking like it, obviously. Yep. And not looking like it at all. Let me measure this again from here. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily super overextended, at least not yet, but it's kind of getting there. All right, so next MPS level here, it might be at the 70 mark. All right, possibly at the 70. Close, wait for the candle to close there. It's got like 15 seconds left on it. So the MPS might be right here at the 70 mark, or it might even be higher at the 80. So it looks like it's gonna be right here at the 70 mark.
Order.
So let's see. Actually, it should have been at the 80 mark where it was.
Order submitted.
Get out of here. I got in at the wrong price point, guys. I just closed it out. My fucking profits were all over the fucking place.
Fell.
All right, so unfortunately, well, looks like it already hit my TP, but so I guess I'll just count it because I got in right there. I hate when these candles do that because they happen to swing at the very last second. I ended up getting in a little early because I thought it was closing at the 70 mark, and it did hit my TP. So because I took it, I'm still gonna count it for you guys because we were looking to take it at that point. But technically, the entry should have been here at the 80, which also would have hit TP regardless. So if you got in at the same time as me, you would have gotten in. If you would have gotten in later, you still would have hit your TP again right there. So it looks like Sadie got it Akil got it. Kevin got it. A lot of you guys here got it. So there goes our win for the day. Uh, it's crazy, man. My accounts are crazy. I'll show you guys right now. All my accounts, they're never like exactly how they should be. They're like super spread out with regard to profits. Andreas got it right there. So there goes our win for the day. I'll keep looking for another possible entry here, but with the current state of the market, it's like super, super tricky with how it's currently moving. So nice work, guys, for you guys who caught it with me. I didn't even realize it spiked up at the last second. I swear it closed at like 70, and then it ended up just spiking up at the last second, and then it hit my TP, of course. So great work, guys, with that right there. I'm going to add this to the profits for the day, and I'll take a screenshot of my profits over here as well, which pretty decent way to kick off the trading week. I just don't like the way the market's currently moving right now. It's kind of annoying, to say the least. Okay, so here are my profits. And you guys will see my profits are kind of all over the place again, like like Friday. Okay, so here are all of my accounts. The first account on top is going to be my personal account. You can see I locked in 275 on my main account, or this is my personal account. And then here's my main account, my main Apex account locked in 700, and then all these other ones locked in about 1,000. So not horrible. I mean, not bad at all. It's actually not bad. It's pretty decent. With that right there. So other than that, let's see. I was trying to see if there'd be another entry here, but so there could be a possible CV entry right here, but again, I don't like how the market's currently moving, so I might just sit out of the rest of the trades for the day. You can see these candles are kind of blocky. It's kind of what happened over here with our MPS. Like our MPS, I swear it was going to close below 70, and it ended up closing above it. So I was like kind of tripped out. But I already had my pending order ready to go using the super dom. I just don't like how these candles here are moving because it's hard to tell. Like this candle could be red, and then at the last second, it might just be green. And you're like, okay, I shouldn't be in that position, but then you're already kind of stuck in it. I'll mark it up for you guys here. I'm not going to take the trade though. I just don't like the way the market's currently moving. So I'll mark it up for you guys here. And I'm just going to be on the safer side. And again, right there, see how this candle spiked up at the last second? Because the candle was down here. That's where I marked it up. And then at the last second, it just spiked up. It blocked to the upside and ended up closing like that. So this right here would technically be a CV entry, but you guys can see how these candles are moving. You guys saw it real time. This is what I was scared about because I was worried that price was going to push up at the very last second like it did for the MPS. And that's exactly what happened here. And that's why I decided not to take the trade. This is probably going to hit, but I'm okay with not taking it, and full TP right there for the CV. So if anybody took the CV right there, solid, another full TP, but I'm being careful because the market is moving very weird right now. Yeah, Akil just said that as well. Said, yeah, you're right. The market's super weird. Going to call it a day. So another full TP there. If you guys can see, there's two entries that came up back to back from each other, the MPS and the CV. And I'll mark this up here so that you guys can see an example of it. I know some of you guys are still trying to learn CV entry. So I'll just take a picture of this. And then I'll put this in here so that you guys can see where it's at. So the entries are hitting. They're just very tricky. I mean, some people are taking it, some people aren't. I'm obviously not taking it. It's super tricky in my opinion, but I mean, it's still playing through. Vince is asking, Sean, what contract size are you using? I'm using 20 contracts right now. I'm on 300K accounts using 20s. I'm only using big contract sizes right now because I'm trying to get these accounts passed by the end of this month because they have the promo going on. So I got to try to get these accounts passed by the end of this month. So if I need to do some resets, I can do resets and it'll be perfectly fine versus paying double once the promo is over. So I'm taking some high risk, but That's why I'm focused on only high quality entries, because I don't want to get caught in some like fake out and stuff like that. So I don't recommend people take that kind of risk, but I mean, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, right? Because I already calculated my risk. So I'm taking a 20 contract. That's going to allow me to lose 3 times in a week, which probably never happens with regard to these scalps here, because I'm looking for the only highest quality of entries. So I'm okay with taking that risk. And then if I end up having to reset the accounts like before the end of the month, that's fine. It's like $1,000 to reset all 20 accounts, which is better than paying over 2,000 full price. So, it just makes sense to take the risk now and hopefully get past by the end of the month, and then get back to my funded trades at that point. It's weird. I canceled like the rest of my PA accounts. I still have like the remaining like 6 PA accounts attached to my account here. It's so weird. They all have like, I might just YOLO some trades on them if they're still there, because they still have a couple $100. So I mean, if we get a directional market, I'll just YOLO some trades. If those accounts happen to play through, then I'll just keep using it, I guess, for like, I guess, risky trades until these get funded. So it's getting closer to 740, guys. As you guys know, once it gets closer to 740, the volatility starts to die down quite a bit. And there's not really much to take from there. So let me take a look at everybody's profit so far. Here's my account. So I locked in 275 on my main account, and then for the rest of the accounts, about 1,000. Looking over here at our team profits, we have Casey over here. We actually have Ross. So we have Ross over here. He locked in about 3,000 per account. He has 20 accounts here. So that's a lot of profit. 3,000 times 20. Ross locked in 60,000 for the day. Amazing, Ross. Great work right there. Ross locked in about 60,000 for the day. We have Casey here locked in 847 for the day. Nice work right there, Casey. We have Madhu, total profit of 50 for the day. Nice work, Madhu. Little profit there. We got Johnny here, total profit 419. Nice work, Johnny. Let's go back to the charts. Let's see, question from Madhu. Madhu said, won't rebill you for the monthly fee, even if you reset before then. No, the monthly fee always charges, Madhu. So the monthly fee will always be charged regardless. So that's why I'm trying to pass them right away. I'm trying to pass them before the monthly fee gets rebuilt. So that's why I'm trying to get through this like as quick as possible, because I got these like I think second week of May. So I have from now until the end of May to pass it. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm taking higher risk so that I can pass it right away. But if I screw up, like say, for example, worse comes to worse and I screw up and I start to revenge trade, which is very unlikely, right? I'm probably not going to revenge trade and blow my accounts like a normal trader would. But if that was the case and I needed to reset it, I could reset it from like now and then have it pretty much ready to go for the next month. I'll pay a little extra, but it's going to be ready to go and it's going to be cheaper for me because maybe I could pass again. Like my whole thought process was like, okay, if I mess up like the first week of April or the first 2 weeks, then I'll have another 2 weeks to kind of like maybe pass again before the end of the month. And then if not, then I just get hit with the rebill. So that was kind of my logic behind increasing my risk and trying to get past like right away. Because typically, like, so once I'm funded on these 300K accounts, I'm going down to 8 contracts, guys. I'm dropping down like extremely low to 8 contracts, but it's really not that bad, because if I do 8 contracts, so 8 times 5 times, and we'll say we have like 2 entries for the day. Like today we had 2 entries. Typically we're gonna have about 2 entries for the day, right? That's 800 per account times 20. That's 16,000 per like winning day of like 2 trades. So say for example, we have like 3 winning days per week. That's like 48,000 for the week, and then times 4, that's 192,000 a month. So 8 contracts will really get you far if you have like 20 accounts. Let's see, Madhu's asking if I would avoid the next MPS. Let's see. Oh yeah, well no, I would for sure, because it's already 740, Madhu. So as you guys know, I typically stop trading around 740. The reason for that is because the volatility starts to die down. You can see the volatility here is still a little high, But as we get closer to 740 right here, and I'm only saying that because it's gonna, 740 is here now. You're probably gonna see the market go sideways here for a bit. So here, let's see. Let me measure this from here to see how extended it is. I wouldn't say it's overextended, but it's getting close to overextended. Like once it gets to 100 points, I think at that point you should probably like maybe think about it. Once it gets lower than 100 points, then yeah, for sure at that point. So here, I'll mark up the MPS for you guys. I personally would probably not take it because I think price is just going to go sideways here for a bit. The good thing about the MPS is that it's probably going to hit before it ends up getting stuck. But again, these candles here are kind of tricky, like the last MPS we took. See this big, huge candle right here? This thing just spiked up at the last second. So this is, I mean, it's the same thing what was happening over here. At the last second, this thing just spikes up super heavily. So, I mean, technically the entry would happen right here. That'd be the MPS. It looks like it would have hit, oh, it's about to hit TP right there. Yeah. So it would have hit TP here, but again, like I wouldn't feel comfortable because you guys saw how this candle pushed up, right? It was like at the last 5 seconds, and I thought the entry was going to be down here. And then as soon as the candle closed, it spiked up and then it came right back down. So it just depends on your guys' risk level. For me personally, I'm at a point where I'm only looking for the trade that I'm like for sure gonna win. Like I'm very, very careful about the entries that I'm looking to take because the last thing I want to do is screw this up. I'm trying to pass these evals by the end of the month. So I kind of just need like so right now I'm at 303,000. I need 17,000 left, right? And let me just show you the math real quick. So I pretty much did the math for like what I need. So I'm taking 20 contracts times 5 times 10. So I'm making basically $1,000 per trade, right? So I'm at 303, or I need 320,000 to or sorry, I need 20,000 to sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking. 320,000 to pass, right? This is to pass my eval. I'm currently right now at 303,000. So I need 17,000, right? How many trades do I need to win? I need 17 trades to win, or to pass my eval, right? 17,000 divided by 1,000, obviously. I need 17 really decently quality scalps. Today's the 15th. I think I have 2 more weeks to pass. So if I could do maybe 2 trades a day, 2 quality trades, so 17 divided by 2 quality trades a day, I only need like 8 winning days to really win, to pass my eval. So I'm going to be really conservative with my trades, guys. I'm probably going to take like 1 or 2 trades a day that are like high quality. So if I take a trade, it's probably going to hit because I'm not going to take these trades and not expect them to hit because I'm looking to pass this eval within the next 15 days or so. How many days are in April? Now, let me look at how many trading days are left. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 days to pass. So I got to take, yeah, I'm gonna have to take at least maybe 2 trades a day to get this eval passed by the end of the month. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not gonna take any dumb trades, but I'm also gonna try to take something that's like in between the lines because I need to pass like right away. Akil's asking, where does it say the days you have left to pass? There's no days left to pass, Akil. You can take it for as long as you want. You're just gonna get charged every month until you pass. I'm just trying not to get charged the next month. Yeah, there's no time limit. I just don't want to pay for the evals again the next month. So that's why I'm like kind of increasing my risk so I can pass because I still have like some back burners, right? If I mess up on the account, I can reset the accounts for half off because the promo's still going on. And then if I pass the accounts, then I won't have to reset and I also won't have to pay for another month of evals. So yeah, there's no deadline. It's just you just have to keep paying the monthly. And the thing with my accounts, because I'm doing 300K accounts now. So my monthly is going to be pretty high. It's like, I think 137 times 20. So if I don't pass this within a month, I'm going to have to pay another 2,740, right? I'm trying to avoid that. I mean, I don't mind paying it. If I have to pay it, I'll pay it because once I get a payout, 800 per account times two times, um, what did I say, 20? I'll make that in one day, right? I'll cover the cost in one day. But if I can pass earlier, I'm not going to want to spend an extra 3,000 for another month of 300K counts. So Kenny said, if you reset, you will still have to pay the monthly renewal. Yeah, that's the whole point, Kenny. So I'm trying to I just to kind of explain this like four times. I'm trying to pass before the end of the month so I don't have to pay the monthly renewal. Um, that's what I'm trying to do. That's the whole point of me taking this increased risk because I still have 12 days left. So if I, for whatever reason, mess up the account, I can renew it or I can reset it and then I can try to pass within the remaining days. So my whole goal here is to pass before the end of the month. So I don't have to pay the reset. And then if I have to reset, I'd rather pay 1,000 for a reset than the 2,700 for the monthly fee. You guys get that? I feel like everybody's kind of like, oh, okay, you're all right, Kenny. I just kind of explained it to everybody a couple of times. Um, I know it's kind of confusing because I usually tell you guys not to take unnecessary risk, but I'm in a time constraint right now, and I need to pass these evals within, well, at least by the end of April. So I think I started these accounts on, let me try to think. I started this like last week, right? Like last week on the 9th. So I technically have until May 9th. So even if I don't, like what might happen is if I don't pass by the end of the month, I'll just lower my contract size as I get closer and closer to passing. And then I'll just try to pass it within the last, the extra 2 weeks that I have after that. So yeah, that's my trading goal for now until I guess I pass these evals. But I'm at like 303 right now, so I need 17 more thousand to pass. And then hopefully I'll get it all done before then. So, all right, guys, if there's any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I guess I can look at some more profits so far. There's no other profits posted, so I'll just add my profits for the day so far. And then we'll wrap this up for the day. So I mean, 275 on my personal account, 700, 1,100, 1,200, 1,000, 11, 1,000, 11, 1,000, 1,200. 12, 12, 12. No way. I guess I did pretty good today. I didn't think I did that. Well, I mean, I guess it adds up. So 31,275. If I added that up properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, there might be more. I don't know. It's all good, whatever. I'm just gonna add this up, right? I'm gonna put this in right here. It might be more, might be less. I might have missed a couple, but I'll just put this there. So plus, the numbers don't really matter to me because this is an eval phase, but I'm just going to put this here so that you guys can see where I'm currently at for the day and the week so far. Yeah, for the week. All right, so that's where I'm currently at right now. I'm going to keep you guys updated with my progress. Hopefully, I'll get these all done by the end of the month. I think it should be pretty smooth as long as the market starts to move a little smoother. It should play out as planned. I don't see any entries here. I was going to show you guys an example of that strategy that I was kind of discussing, but there's just no entries that came up today, unfortunately. The market wasn't really moving very directional. So I think that's it for the day, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up in a few moments. It's past 7:40. My cutoff time for entering trades is around 7:40 because the volatility starts to die down. Let's go over here to the clean chart. And I'll mark up some structure right here so that you guys can see a little better. So we got structure right there. We got structure right here. So you guys can see this is pretty much where price is consolidating and ranging from down here. This is why I stopped trading around 740. If you guys can see, if I mark at the 740 time right here, this is where the market starts to go sideways, like super heavy. So that's typically why I stopped trading around 740. The only reason I know that's from my data. If I pulled up my data from like when I lost trades, typically my losing trades would happen around this area here. Let's see. Yeah, Kenny said V1s with confluence hit, zone rejection. I think there was one right there, right, Kenny? That's one you identified. Yeah, I think so. Or I think this was a V1 earlier. I don't know. If it was a V1, this would have been off the zone. Or there's actually a zone down here. Yeah, you're right. The one from down here. So yeah, the V1 with confluence happened right here off this lower low, and it shot up perfect. So that's another strategy too that you guys can look out for. Another sideways strategy that typically works, like with regard to no trend, would be the V1 variation with confluence, which is basically a double V1. You get a V1 over here, and you get a V1 over here. It's typically going to push through, and this thing did push right through from there as well. Yeah, I agree, Kenny, 100%. It's super reliable because you're getting so many confluences. It's based off like pure price action. You're just using my indicators to identify the actual price action a lot more clear. So yeah, I guess that's another one we'll add to the bucket. There's like a bucket of like, well, I'll add a bucket of sideways strategies that we can start to kind of focus on because the market has been going sideways for the past couple of weeks. If this is the market that we're going to be stuck in, then it's completely fine. We can thrive in every type of market, whether the market goes sideways, whether the market goes directional. We'll have a playbook for pretty much every type of entry that comes up. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, yeah, today's a typical Monday. I was actually not even expecting to get any entries today, but I'm glad that I caught at least one here for the MPS. I would have taken the CB entry here, but obviously market here is kind of screwed up towards the end as price continues to move blocky or just kind of go sideways. And you can see over here from the clean chart, I'm not expecting much to happen here. Price is probably going to go back and forth between these two zones for the next couple, 20, 30 minutes from now. So, all right, guys, if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, we're having the mentoring session today, guys. So let me, I forgot to remind you guys. Sorry. I know like half you guys left already. Let me see if I can put this over here. I'll put a reminder somewhere. I think from the, let me see. I just have a reminder here. Okay. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this mentoring session, so I'll put the reminder right here. And I will post it up in the announcements, also post it up in the chat. Okay, guys. So I'll be back later today at 2 p.m. Our regular scheduled mentoring session time. I'm going to try to do this maybe every other week. I know we're doing once a month, but we'll try to do every other week. But yeah, regular scheduled time, 2 p.m. Pacific. So I'll be here again at 2 p.m. Pacific. We'll cover a lot of this stuff. I'll go over a lot of examples for that new strategy that I was kind of just referring to you guys, this divergence strategy, because it's a really cool strategy, and I'll show you guys how it works. It's like super intuitive, and it works very well with this sideways type market. So just a reminder, guys, I'll see you guys here at 2 o'clock. If not, I'll see you guys here tomorrow for the next live session. So if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys here later today for the group mentoring session. So, all right, guys.